I work in finance in a male-dominated industry, and I'm going to tell you why older guys date younger women. I have all these guys around me that I see doing that, and I asked 100 men, whether they're doing that now or not. I asked 100 men, why do you date younger women? And while I understand 100 may not be that huge of a fool, if every single one of them is saying the same thing, I think is pretty legit. So initially, I thought that they were dating younger women because younger women were prettier. But I came to understand that no, there are plenty of older women that will give a younger girl a run for her money.
I really hate it when these older chicks make that comparison. Like, oh, you know, there are plenty of women in their 40s. They look way better than some of the women in their 20s. No, that's not how you do comparisons, right? You don't compare apples to oranges. You compare apples to apples and oranges to oranges, right? So if that woman that she's saying is so incredible in her 40s, you would give younger women a run for money. That chick in her 40s that's like so incredible was even more incredible 20 years ago, right? That's how you do your comparison. How did that chick who's in her 40s that's like so amazing looking, that's giving these younger women run for their money, how did she look 20 years ago? I guarantee she looked 1,000 times better than she does now. That is how you do these comparisons, you bag.
Right? Very pretty older woman out there. Looks has nothing to do with it. Every single guy, every single one told me that the reason that they like dating younger women is because they're easier to deal with. And I was
absolutely true. They are easier to deal with.
What does that mean?
That means that men value what? You heard it on this channel first, by the way. Because now I hear a lot of content creators just parroting exactly what I said years ago. The number one thing we value as men is peace. Peace. We want peace. We want quiet. We don't want drama. We don't want chaos. Why? Because we deal with enough of that in the world. So when we come home to our relationship, to our girl, we want peace. We don't want hostility. We don't want anger. We don't want the dirty looks behind our eyes. I know. We want peace.
Easier to deal with. And they said, well, she doesn't challenge me. It's not always a back and forth. I just tell her something and it just is.
And she's right. Some of these ladies, they keep themselves up. I see a lot of women out here keeping themselves up in terms of looks. But then when they get to the actual relationship and the actual part of being a decent human being, that's where they fail. And so they lose out on a good man because they're terrible people. And then they try to blame it on the man. There's nothing wrong with you. There is something wrong with you. You're a terrible person.
I have been a stay-at-home mom since the end of 2021. We were having some fertility issues, which I still have not figured out to this day. But we started having kids in 2021, and that's when we decided that I would stay home. He would be the sole provider, and I would stay home with the kids. Things changed when I started having our kids. When I started having our children, that's when things changed. Slowly. It was a gradual change. It was not overnight. The more children that I had, and the more that I depended on him financially, that is when things changed. It was like a power dynamic shift that I was kind of, I was apprehensive before I decided to stay home. And I remember verbalizing that to him. I told him that in a conversation. I feel like the red flag was that I was not given any reassurance. I was not given a clear-cut plan on how to make me feel better about making that decision to stay at home with our children. And for the people that comment and say that on that video, I was saying me, I, or he, and like trying to make it separate. Listen, you don't reach 15 years of marriage. You don't sacrifice your career. You don't make all of these sacrifices and make it last this long in marriage, thinking about yourself and being a selfish person, a selfish individual. That is not how it works. The marriage would have been over a long time ago. Our shift started when I started having children in 2021. That is when I feel like the power went to his head. So all I was trying to do is warn other women to take heed. be careful. I don't care how good you think that your marriage is at the time of you deciding to stay at home with your children. It does not matter. You should always have your own income. And if I feel like if somebody is telling you that that is selfish, it's not your issue. You have to protect yourself.
True enough, but I think also a lot of times you might have women complaining about the stuff that they are and they aren't getting, and they live in a nice two-story house, 4 or 5 bedrooms, 3-4 baths, 3,000 square feet, plenty of room. It might not be a mansion, but it's plenty of room. Got a yard in the back. Might not have a pool in the ground, but it's a above ground pool where you put it in the backyard, you fill it up. A lot of families have that. Modern women will complain about those little things. I can't go to Starbucks every day, and that wears a man down. I'm not saying that's what happened in this instance. I'm just saying a lot of times you hear modern women, or you don't hear them talking about maybe what was said, or maybe what was done, or maybe what the expectation was in their minds. And when the man found out, oh, she's acting like this, that's a level of entitlement. They don't realize how their ego and their entitlement can play a factor in these decisions.
I'm 22 and I'm getting married in a couple months, and so many people are saying I'm getting married too young and that I should spend the best years of my life partying and having fun and all of that stuff. Perhaps I would like to spend the best years of my life with the love of my life. And I would like to live a faithful life rather than hop around college bars every weekend and sleep with every guy I see. Marriage is only the beginning of my adventure, certainly not the end. And maybe I got lucky because a lot of people say you should wait until you have life figured out before you get married, but for me, when I met my fiance, life started to work out. Regardless, when you know, and you can figure out the rest later, together.
24 and I've never dated anyone before, and it must be because I'm fucking ugly and disgusting. Yeah, that's fucking bullshit, actually. A lot of advice people give me is to change my hair, take my glasses off, do a makeover. Why should I have to change myself to find love?
I feel like nowadays finding romantic love is strictly based on luck. Luck and a bit of effort. There's no guarantee for anyone, but there are people who put far more effort into finding their romantic love by any means, and those women are willing to lose weight, change themselves, try to be more conventionally attractive. And like you said, why do you have to do that? You don't have to do that. It just slims down your chances, because today people are giving it out like candy. Men and women, okay? There's no standard for marriage. There's no standard for love. You could have somebody in your bed at night by a swipe of a phone. So it's harder to find genuine people, genuine connections. There's such a small pool, and you're pulling out of this very small pool of men. And then you're fighting with women who are putting maximum amounts of effort to get those men. And even though you don't want to put in effort, you're like, I'm not changing for a man. Well, that's fine. You're just going to be going purely off of just luck. Nothing extra, nothing more, just luck. Because there are plenty of women who don't follow the trends, who don't follow the standards, and they do find men. But trust me when I say, they were at the right place at the right time, and it was just luck. When I met my husband, I was not looking for him. And I feel like I kept up with myself. I was going to the gym every single day. I was doing right by myself. I was in school. But truth be told, I was talking to multiple people, and none of them were husband material. I don't think I did anything differently or better or worse with my husband. He just happened to love me. He happened to want the same things I wanted. And you don't have to change yourself. You don't have to do those things. I feel like women who put maximum effort in, they just have more options. They have more chances than a woman who is not willing to put that same level of effort in.
It's crazy to me how modern women sit up here and say it's purely luck based, when y'all be running businesses and y'all be getting it down to a science. When you get into a relationship, it's kind of the same way. Y'all just don't want to do the work. Y'all don't want to observe. I shouldn't have to change myself for a man, this and that. The man's schedule is going to change for you. If you don't like a certain haircut on a man, then you're going to expect him not to get it. Right? I mean, because you should love me enough. Hey, where are you going with that? Oh, I was going to go out with the fellas. Wearing that? No, get back in the room. You represent me. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and get you. And then she will go, oh, yep, get him together, boo. Get him together, boo. They'll do that and it'll be okay. It'll be all right. And so now he's got to go change his whole wardrobe just to make you happy, just to suit you. Whereas he might have worn, I just wear sweats and a t-shirt. Oh, now I got to wear, this shirt like I'm sailing on a boat or something like that. Like I'm going on a tropical cruise. Because that's the way you like it. Oh, I like my man like that. And it looks nice and this and that. It don't matter what he thinks. And those are surface level, but you have to do the same thing. I don't want to say you need to change your personality, but there's definitely a change in the way that you act, in the way that you behave around your significant other, and the things that you say, maybe the things that you watch, the things that you eat around your significant other. So yes, I don't know where you guys are getting this thing that you don't have to change. At some point in time, you're going to have to adapt to this person's way of living, their lifestyle, how they are at home, how they are in public. Y'all are both going to have to mesh together and find something that works for you. The problem is, and even from a young age, you don't understand what you're saying. Y'all don't even understand. Y'all are saying, why do I have to change for a man? I want a man to change for me. I want a man to start magically doing all of these things for me because he loves me. But why do I have to do that for a man? You're outing yourself as a terrible candidate. Well, I don't care because, I really don't care that much about marriage. Great. I'm glad. You're in the right place. You're in the right headspace. Because with that attitude, you're not going to find somebody. Married, not married, you're not going to find a companion with that loser behavior.
How come y'all are never with the treatment that you're used to, right? Y'all come on here talking about the preferences and the things that you're accustomed to, but somehow you're never with those people or in that environment. You come on here and tell us your bad experiences and say, oh, this is what I'm used to, or this is what I got accustomed to, or this is what I've experienced, but you're never there.
I thought this was an interesting topic, and I wanted to read a few of the comments on this video. So the first person said, just because the person said they're used to certain treatment and not with the person, it's multiple reasons why they couldn't be with them. A person could be abusive, etc. It could be cheating. Y'all want someone to get on here and explain to y'all why they're not with the person is. I don't know what else that she said, but the comment to that was, if you're not with them because they cheated or are bad, then why are you telling us all about the other things they did for you? You can't pick and choose what you want to tell us and leave important details out. I kind of agree. The second comment was, every situation isn't a one-size-fits-all. Actually, very few situations are. I like that somebody could have gotten treated properly in a relationship financially wise and they left a person because of their character. So in my personal, probably unpopular opinion, surprise, surprise, I do feel like a few of these comments sort of solidified his initial point. I do think a lot of people will go into dating, going on multiple dates with different people, and then they start to have different experiences and they can create a sort of Frankenstein fantasy person in their head that doesn't actually exist, where they take all of their best traits of their flings, their ex-boyfriends, their previous partners of some sort, and they want all of the best traits from everybody that they've dated without any of the negatives. That's not how relationships work. There are going to be choices and trade-offs to everything. And I've seen both men and women kind of come online and say, this is the behavior that I've had in the past, so I'm not going to settle for anything less. And at face value, that's fine. People can have whatever standards they want. If that means that they are comfortable with staying single, if they don't find what they're looking for, then more power to them. But I do think there's not as much of an acknowledgement that, like a few of these comments said, there are trade-offs to everything. And so with, for example, women who come on here saying that they want this provider or they want this man who is willing to drop a ton of money on the first or second date, they forgot to mention that that guy had bad character or that that guy was cheating on them. And so it's like, okay, you're saying that you want this guy who's going to drop a bunch of money on you on the first couple dates, but you also want that guy to not cheat on you. But you're saying, well, I had this treatment before and I'm not going to settle for anything less. But then you haven't ever had that treatment from a guy who hasn't been cheating on you, or you haven't had that treatment from a guy who, from your own own words, has had good character. And I'm not saying that those women couldn't possibly find that guy, but I do think some of this kind of comes across as posturing. It comes across as, I don't know what to really call it. Maybe it's like a lack of humility. And on the guy's side, I've also seen this with certain guys who will call women mid and say, oh, I've seen a woman like that on every corner, or, oh, I see a woman that attractive at every bar that I go to. And it's like, okay. But if we're being so honest, a lot of those men who say, oh, she's so mid, she's so average looking, I see a woman like that all the time, but it's like, okay, how many of those men would actually be able to date women who are as pretty as the women that they're calling mid? I don't know if part of this maybe with people is just kind of a fake it till you make it sort of mentality. Like they feel like if they kind of put themselves above other people in their mind, that eventually other people will believe it too. And look, maybe sometimes that manifesting works, but I just think sometimes there's such a disconnect, especially on social media, between the things that people are saying that they are, like he said, so used to in dating versus the types of options that they're actually getting in dating. And again, I think that everyone is entitled to have whatever dating preferences that they want to, regardless of if your preferences might be picky or if your standards might be high. If you're happy being single, if you don't find what you're looking for, then like I said, more power to you. But I guess I'm less on board with this sort of like aura of entitlement where it's like, I'm used to getting this treatment and I am this person who can get this type of person any day, when it's like, it's just so obvious that that's not actually true. Because if it was true, if you could find that person who was willing to bend over backwards for you and do all of these things while also having good character and you being really attracted to them, you'd probably be with that person. I don't know, just my personal opinion. I like the realness. I like a little bit of humility and honesty about people's real lived experiences, but that is just my maybe unpopular opinion. So let me know what you guys think. Bye.
I think a lot of these modern women do this. They do this. They come online talking about, I've been with an NBA player or a rapper and all that stuff. And they try to take all, like you said, all of the good stuff from that rapper. Like you said, mixing and matching. Oh, I want the height of an NBA player. I want the money, the wealth, but I just don't want him to treat me like a dog. And honestly and truly, for some of these women, who they don't have any morals, so they really don't care if the man cheats. They just don't want to be embarrassed. They just don't want to be questioned. And Kevin Samuels kind of talked something like this about some of these ladies who want this type of man. Just don't bring anything home, no kids, no diseases, just keep it clean if you're going to be out there. That's how a lot of these modern women think.
Here's the other thing that I will give to the men. Men who are have a little bit of ambition are smart enough to know that dating a woman with equal amount of ambition only makes them better.
Right, but it depends on your attitude. A lot of times with these ambitious modern women, an attitude is coming right behind it.
This is actually something so frustrating to men because they hold themselves back from approaching women since they've been told time and time again that women don't want to be approached. But then here's these women wondering why men aren't approaching them while they're looking like they are having the worst time ever. Which is so frustrating because it feels like a game and meeting new people is tough enough. Especially when you don't want this to be the thing that's eliminating potentially good partners. I mean, there's already enough crazies out there, which is why I always recommend to men to do a public data check on a trusted website like publicdatacheck.com before pursuing the woman that you're interested in, because it can save you from wasting a lot of your time and effort.
I'd love to hear your guys' opinion on this debate I had with a man, which is my nightmare sentence. I hope nobody has had to debate with any men recently. It's the worst actual thing ever. Strap in. So I was dating this guy and we were gonna move in together, and it was pretty much locked in. Like, he got rid of his lease, moved in with me for a second, and we were looking for places. And then suddenly he came into a large sum of money because tech, that's how it works in the tech industry. And he was like, actually, I'm going to buy a place. And again, I was already kind of locked in, like, okay, whatever. Like, I didn't really get too much of a say in what the place was gonna be. I wasn't like super thrilled with it, but I moved in. And we kind of kept the same payment terms that we agreed on before he decided to buy a place, meaning I was paying him. I was paying his mortgage. The relationship didn't work out. I moved out and left. And I felt really silly, actually, that I had been paying his mortgage. Like, it felt really stupid to me because this was his long-term investment that he now had, you know? Like, his net worth went up through this. And I got nothing. Like, there was no gain for me. I was essentially like putting money into his Roth IRA. That's how I saw it. Like, why am I fueling your investment? So I really vowed that, like, if I was in this situation again, I wouldn't be paying anybody's mortgage. It just doesn't seem fair unless we're like married and this investment is going to reflect on me eventually. Like, it just doesn't make sense. Flash forward, I'm dating another guy and things are going along well, whatever. We're talking about what would it look like if we moved in together? Like, what would it look like? I'm saying I'm really flexible, whatever, but I bring this thing up. I say, if you buy a place, I won't be paying your mortgage. This blows up into a very large conversation. He's not really getting why, like, he's basically saying, like, so you would be okay living somewhere for free and like mooching off of me. First of all, I don't even know why we're having this conversation. Like, this isn't a hypothetical that's gonna happen. Us living in LA, not being millionaires, buying a house or like an apartment even by ourselves, like, that's not shit that happens in LA really. So like, this hypothetical, why are we even arguing? And second of all, this perspective of like, I'm a gold digger, I really don't love, because you don't even have any gold. Like, how can I be a gold digger? And when men are suspicious that their girlfriends are out to use them, I think it's very fear-based. I think it's very ungenerous, and I think it's very pathetic. You being my landlord and me paying you as a romantic partner, I don't think that makes sense. I don't think it's like an equal trade-off.
You got nothing because you didn't buy a house. He actually already put up the money, but you were paying him to use his resource. Does that make sense? Modern women want access. They want access to a man's stuff for free. They want access to a man's stuff for free. It's like somebody going out there and buying a car, and then you coming up and saying, okay, well, let me use a car. Okay, well, you have to pay. I mean, I just bought the car. You're gonna have to pay a little something on the car. You don't have to pay the bill or whatever, but you're gonna have to pay a little something on the car. I mean, you're using it. You be here all the time. You got to pay something. Well, I just pay for gas. No, I mean, yes, gas, but you're also using, it's wear and tear. You're using my car. So if you take my car, even half the time, I would be at the house. So you're responsible for half of the wear and tear and the miles on my car. You have to pay for that, because when the transmission goes out, you're going to have to pay for half of that. The engine goes out, you're going to have to pay for half. Repairs and maintenance, you're going to have to pay for at least half, assuming we split it down the middle. So when I go, essentially what he did is he went and put up about quote unquote half of the house. Now you got out of it because actually you were, I won't say that because he was going to buy a house and you said, okay, I guess I'll stay with you. You didn't have to. You could have stayed in your apartment. That's what you could have done, but you said, no, I want to stay with you. And so now you have to pay some rent. The man already paid the down payment on it and probably paid a little bit more. You got to pay something. I don't know what you guys are thinking. You gotta put the money down.
My cheating wife said, go ahead, move out. I did. Days later, her father stormed into her house screaming, do you know what he just did? She didn't even look up from her phone when she said it. Just a casual, go ahead, move out, like she was giving me permission to grab coffee. I could see her new guy's name lighting up her screen every few seconds. Sean. Of course, his name was Sean. You've been miserable here anyway, she added, still scrolling. We both know this hasn't been working. I didn't argue, didn't beg, just walked to the bedroom and started packing. The same duffel bag I'd used when I moved in 7 years ago, back when her family actually pretended to respect me. It got louder as I folded shirts, talking to herself, but making sure I could hear. You'll land on your feet, or maybe not. That little laugh at the end, the one that cuts deeper than any insult. When I zipped the bag and walked back through the Kit Cooper, she looked up with mock surprise. You're actually going? You told me to. My voice was flat. I let the door close behind me without looking back. What she forgot, what her whole entitled family forgot, was that their boutique hotel, the 20-room property her father loves bragging about, runs entirely on a booking system I built from scratch 6 years ago. Not just any system. A custom platform I spent 8 months developing, handling everything from reservations, to inventory, to automated guest communications. It's sophisticated, proprietary, and licensed under my software company's name. When we were happy, I gave them a sweetheart deal. $500 a month for software that would cost them 15 grand anywhere else. Over 6 years, I'd saved them over $1 million. They'd grown comfortable. Her father strutted around town talking about our family business like he'd built it all himself, forgetting the tech guy who made it actually function. I gave it 3 days. Then I sent the email. Professional, courteous, completely airtight. 30 days notice to terminate the licensing agreement. They could migrate to a new system or pay market rate. $12,000 per month plus a $50,000 setup fee. Their family lawyer called within an hour, voice tight with panic. You can't just pull the software. We have contracts. Check section 7, subsection 3, I said calmly. Either party...
Don't feel sorry for him. I don't feel sorry for him. Because you have... What you have is modern women acting a fool, doing stupid stuff, saying stupid stuff. And then I don't know what's going on. It used to be that the parents would hold the kids responsible regardless of what the situation was, right? Obviously, I got to protect my child, but then also at the same time, I got to hold you accountable. I don't care if, you don't hold that person accountable in front of, the person you're protecting them from. At some point in time, that she needs to know or he needs to know, hey, I stood up for you, but you need to get this in check. You need to get this in order. They don't say that. They let these young ladies go on about their business, and then the young ladies think that they can still keep on acting this way until the man finally puts his foot down and says, hey, we're not going to keep doing that. $12,000 plus a setup fee. Now your voice is in panic. Well, you should have been panicked when you was acting stupid.
I feel like I haven't seen anyone on this app talk about how hard it is to be unattractive. Like, being unattractive is so depressing. Like, that's the only way I can describe it. It's just really depressing. Like, for me, I feel like being unattractive has made my self-esteem, like, really low. It's made my self-worth really low. I don't get as many opportunities as other people get. And then just, like, the whole relationship factor piece to it. Like, I really, really want to be in a relationship. Like, more than anything in the world. That's the one thing that's been missing from my life for a really long time. And I just feel like it's never gonna happen for me. 1, because of where I live, but 2, because I'm not, like, conventionally pretty. My body is not tea. Like, I just feel like I don't look good. And to just, like, carry that with you every single day is really hard. To feel like you're not worthy. It just sucks.
People talk about that all the time. And this is what lets men know that modern women aren't listening. Because men are continuing to say, hey, just because I don't meet the threshold of 6 foot, well, his face card never declines, but he's a short king. You mean like he's 5'7" and you're 5'4"? What else do you need? He's taller than you. Yeah, but with heels on, heels don't matter. Stop doing that. Even if you you'd have to put 4-inch, 5-inch heels on in order to exceed his height. You have to be wearing high heels most of the time, which you don't. Modern women like options is what this is coming down to. They like options. So I want to have the option to be able to wear whatever type heel I want and it not be a problem. They're trying to future-proof at every turn. And sometimes, and I get it, you want to make sure that you're relatively secure finances-wise, but some of this stuff is just stupid. I want to future-proof his height. So he's got to be 6'4". I know I'm 5'1" now, or 5'4" now, he's 5'7". When I put high heels on, they're going to be 4 inches. So I'm going to be taller than him. So if I get a man that's 6'1", he might shrink a few inches over the years. Now he's 5'10", and I can still wear heels. That's dumb. That's stupid. You're worried about the wrong thing and you wonder why you can't find nobody. And in saying that, I wonder if it's really nobody finds me attractive, nobody wants to approach me, or is it the men? that I want don't want to approach me. I have a few guys that are relatively attractive, but they're not the best that I could get. Do y'all understand that y'all are all in a pack talking about I ain't gonna settle for this, and this? And then the girl that y'all say is uglier than you has a man. Not only does she have a man, she gets married and she has kids. Not only does she get married and have kids, she goes on a pretty nice honeymoon. Oh, okay. I didn't know you had it like that. I didn't have it like that. But we put our money together and we took a nice vacation. And mind you, y'all are still in the same group talking about men don't approach. She got a man. And number one, number two, 10 years into her marriage, kids and everything, ups and downs and difficulties, and y'all are still in the same group talk about men don't approach, when you and her could have gotten married in similar time periods. That's what I'm saying. We can get up here and cry on the internet about men not approaching, but then fool around and find out that men actually did approach. He just too short, or he wasn't a 10 in the looks department. He was actually more so like a 7, like a 6 or a 7. He was average. But what do you think you are?
These are 5 things that my husband never has to ask me. Number 1, he never asks for sex because he gets it whenever he wants and whenever I want it too. Sex is sacred. It is healing and it is the glue to our and your relationship. It's always available, without games, without conditions. Number 2, he never asks me to delete contacts from my phone because there is nobody on there that would make him feel uncomfortable in the first place. I keep things very clear and very upfront. Number 3, he never asks where I'm going. Why? Because I tell him before I leave where I'm going. He's my protector and my guardian and my provider, and I always keep him in the loop so he never has to worry about me. Number 4, he never asks me to keep my cool when I drink. Why? Because I never drink, and when I do, I never get sloppy and would never embarrass him. I carry myself with class because a woman is a reflection of the man, and what's important for him is important for me. Number 5, he never asks me to exercise. Why? Because staying in...
For why? Why is that?
They're gonna cut the tag off.
Okay. Can I ask what's going on first?
Yes. So they're gonna cut the tag off. But so from my understanding, we are removing at this point.
How can you remove him from me?
Yeah, because his other son's right here too.
I have full custody of my child.
Okay.
From DCS.
So
from DCS. So I want to know why he's getting removed from my custody.
So from my understanding,
and you are being recorded.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
From my understanding, I'm not sure of the details that was stated when you spoke with Gabrielle. But from what I heard, it wasn't a very good conversation, so to speak.
How was that?
I don't know the details.
Well, how are you removing a child if you don't know the details, ma'am?
So this has been the directive from our upper management.
Well, I need to speak to your supervisor then.
I can call the supervisor.
Yes,
it's not my supervisor.
Well, I need your supervisor.
I'll call the supervisor.
And I want to know why he's being released out of my custody. Why he's not being put in my custody. Whenever I just took a drug test and I know for a fact I'm clean.
Okay. So, I mean, I would need to ask, would you be willing to work with providers?
Today they're getting sued. Hey.
Yeah, we need a little bit more information. Y'all just came in here without no supervisor. It actually shouldn't have even been y'all. If upper management made that decision to take the child or whatever it is, they don't need to send y'all down there. They need to be the ones that come and do it. Now, you sent that security guard in there thinking you're going to be safe. I'm not even sure how he allowed that child to be ruled out of there like that so easily. Had it been me, I'd have probably grabbed that thing and said, hold on, before we move anything anywhere, respectfully, we need to go ahead and get this correctly, because you're saying something. I don't know where it came from. I don't know why it is what it is, but we need to go ahead and get it correct. Well, my supervisor, I can call this, and this. We can be here all night. let's go ahead and order something. Have them bring it up to the floor, because we're not going nowhere. Too many times today, they come in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people in there. They do it as intimidation. Well, they need a witness and this and this. Intimidation. If you're saying, well, you're on drugs, you're this, you're that, we had a conversation, we don't know this, and that. Hold on. Before you remove people's child, let's get it correct. Before just making an accusation. We're too loose. We're taking children from their fathers. Fathers got to fight tooth and nail to get their child back.
A young man, Brian Morgan, is facing accusations of negligence after helping a woman who fell down the stairs. The incident, which was caught on security cameras, shows 28-year-old Lauren Mitchell missing a step while going down the stairs, causing her to start falling forward. Just before her head was about to hit the stairs, Brian reached out and prevented further injury. At the time, there was no argument, but 2 days later, Lauren filed a lawsuit claiming that Brian's sudden appearance at the top of the stairs startled her, causing her to lose her balance and fall. She alleges that she now suffers from multiple bruises and emotional distress, and is seeking $250,000 for medical bills and pain and suffering. Brian's defense lawyer argues that Brian was merely passing by and had no direct contact with Lauren before she fell. The lawyer also pointed out that Brian actually prevented her head from hitting the stairs, which could have made things worse. However, Lauren maintains that her fall was caused by being startled. The case is still under review, and many are left wondering if Brian was truly negligent or if this was simply an unfortunate accident.
I just think about these scenarios, and I just have to believe it's fake. I have to. There's no way, I've heard crazier things, unfortunately. I just can't believe this is real.
So let's face it, the harsh reality is that the majority of men have been emasculated through society, through and through means of government assistance and incentivizing divorces and the separation of the nuclear family. For starters, let's start with child support, where it's something that was meant to be a temporary solution that became permanent. And so permanent that women have actually brainwashed themselves into believing that they don't need a man, even though they're replacing a man with the government, and by in turn, still needing a man. And men grow up every single day understanding that they are supposed to provide and protect, and the government has simply diminished them down to nothing by taking away their ability to provide and protect. And as a society, we almost promote this single motherhood culture so women can get more benefits. You see this also happen time and time again, where couples are married for maybe a decade and maybe the mother comes down with cancer, and now all of a sudden they have to get a divorce because she's eligible for more benefits as a single mother who is, divorced than she would being married to her husband. And this is a way that society is set up to tell men that either you can stay in the home where you have to work twice as hard and be away from your family, where essentially women will take control of the household, and he also is further emasculated by his leadership being taken away because he's out making money, he's trying to do his job and provide, where the women come in and they take over the ownership and the leadership of how the household is run, and essentially it diminishes them even further. Another example of this is in the workplace, where women have taken over men's spaces. For example, they want to work in trade jobs. Women are still given the lesser of the jobs, and a lot of these jobs have to meet certain quotas and hire women just to say that they are not discriminating. They are the protected class. So for example, a woman might want to be a mechanic, but she might take twice as long to get a job done because she can't have the physical strength to pick up tires and get them done in a timely manner to be able to basically be equal with the men, but essentially she still is going to get that job because they need women in that field. You also see this in training. We all have to take more sensitivity classes, or we have to take, gender bias classes. We have to learn how to talk to people a certain way in female dominated spaces, and they're only female dominated because we have to meet quotas of hiring a certain level or caliber of women despite their ability to do the job correctly and right or fast enough. And that's like indirectly emasculating a man, because imagine you've worked 20 years in your trade and you have the skill level that is nowhere near a woman, but a woman steps in and gets a job and basically does office work, you know, in the same field as you, just because she's a woman. So all of the power and all of the ambition and all of the motivation that you felt getting that job and doing that job is simply being stripped away from you by default, because we have to hire a certain number of women in a field. Even down to HR spaces. Some jobs never even had an HR department, but because now they're forced to hire women, now we have to accommodate a woman's experience in the way that we talk to them, how we greet them, how we show up. And men have to change everything about them to basically cater to these women, even though it's a male-dominated space. And if we don't cater to women, then we're considered toxic, or we're considered misogynistic, or, you know, we hate women, even though that couldn't be further from the truth, because the reality is that sometimes, even if you're a woman and you want to be in a certain trade, doesn't mean that you're qualified for that job. But now society has set it up where it doesn't matter if you're qualified or not. It just matters how many people we have in a certain space by gender. And let's just take this a step further. It's not just romantic relationships, but it's the way that women can emasculate men through their children, because his leadership goes out the window with the mother being home all day or being the primary caretaker in a divorce. So by default, he gets his children taken away, and it's incentivized again to take the power away from the men to be able to provide, but also having a father in the home. And let's not forget the overall diminishing of masculinity by preaching it's toxic and it's inherently harmful, thus making men feel powerless in their own ability to provide and protect, despite all of the information that we have surrounding fatherless homes. On one hand, men are able to teach young boys respect and how to love and care for their family, and also to be there for the physiological changes that men go through that women don't understand. And in the same way, he's there to teach his daughter what real respect and real loving relationships are, and how to respect herself so she doesn't have daddy issues later on. And despite all of this information and how, you know, children will grow up in worse situations, either with depression or more involved in criminal activity, without a father in the home, society will still set it up to brainwash women into believing that they don't need a man, because the government steps in to basically be their baby daddy. And this emasculation and the absence of fathers and men's masculinity being toxic has only set up a society of narcissistic women, controlling women, sociopathic women, and women that need control because they don't know how to take leadership from a man. And it's truly brainwashed women into believing that they are the more powerful source just because they work, they have a job, they have finances, and they have incentivized divorces and basically don't need a man. But in reality, the man in the relationship is the government. And this will never stop because so many people benefit from things like child support. You have lawyers, you have, the judges, you have even the bailiffs. You have anyone who is involved with the court system benefiting directly off the downfall and the emasculation of men through child support and other incentivized programs. And when you really think about it, it's really crazy that when women get more powerful or in their mind, they're more independent, their first thought is to take down men. But when men have power, their first thought is to take care of women. So essentially what we have is the oppressed now being the oppressor. And women have been so desensitized to a man's experience that it has led to so much narcissism that when it comes to accountability, she doesn't understand it. And the reason why women don't understand accountability is because they are the abusers. They are abusing the legal system. They might even cohabitate with a man. So you are living together, you are doing all of the things as a married couple, but she is never going to get married because it benefits her more to be a single mother and still get government assistance and all of the benefits to where men don't even have to provide anymore. Is that not emasculation through society where you are stripping and diminishing men down to nothing to where even providing for a woman isn't good enough? And let's not forget that if he doesn't pay his child support, then he could lose his trade, he could lose his license, he could be put in jail. There's all of these consequences for these men to provide, but then they lose the ability to have their leadership in place to raising their family. So you've taken out their masculinity and their ability to provide in the workplace. You've taken away their ability to provide through, financial means and being married to a woman by government assistance and incentivized divorces and promoting this single mother culture. You've also diminished them because they feel powerless in romantic relationships where the women can use their kids against them. They can claim SA, they can claim DV without any proof, and that man will spend years and thousands of dollars in legal fees just to get his reputation back. And when his reputation is ruined, then you're taking away his motivation, his power, his ability to have self-worth as a man. And what's really sad is that we have brainwashed women into believing that their independence is real, but it is a facade based on the ability of men still paying child support, supposedly not being involved, government assistance, and we have diminished and emasculated men into nothing while simultaneously preaching that we want good men in the world. We need men to pay for my nails, pay for my hair, be there. So we get to nitpick and choose our equality, and that's just not how equality works. Okay, bye.